Young Sheldon Season 6 keeps destroying its own storylines. Hello everyone, my name is Alana. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And give this video a like. Young Sheldon has carved a niche as a heartfelt family comedy, skillfully balancing humor with emotional depth. However, Season 6 seems to be unraveling its own carefully built narrative threads, leaving fans puzzled and frustrated. From unresolved plotlines to character arcs that seem to contradict their own logic, the latest season has been a whirlwind of confusion. Here's a closer look at how Young Sheldon Season 6 keeps sabotaging its own storytelling. One of the biggest looming plot points in Young Sheldon is George Sr.'s infidelity, a revelation made infamous in The Big Bang Theory. Fans have been anxiously waiting to see how the show will handle this heartbreaking event. Yet, Season 6 continues to sidestep the issue, opting instead for vague hints and half-hearted setups. George's interactions with Brenda Sparks, for instance, feel like they're building towards something, only for the storyline to fizzle out without resolution. By avoiding the inevitable, Young Sheldon is creating more questions than answers. Is George Sr. truly the villain Sheldon remembers, or is the show trying to redeem him at the cost of narrative consistency? Missy Cooper has been a standout character, often stealing scenes with her wit and emotional depth. In Season 6, she begins to assert her independence, pushing back against her family's strict expectations. However, this promising arc abruptly stalls, with Missy's rebellious tendencies barely explored. Instead of letting her character grow, the show shifts focus to less compelling storylines, leaving Missy stuck in a cycle of unrealized potential. Mary Cooper's faith has always been central to her character. Season 6 takes a bold step by showing her questioning her beliefs after facing judgment from her church community. This crisis has the potential to add layers to Mary's character, but the show doesn't commit to exploring it fully. Instead, Mary's struggles are quickly overshadowed by other plotlines, diluting the emotional weight of her journey. This lack of follow-through not only undermines Mary's development, but also makes her eventual return to devout religiosity in The Big Bang Theory feel even more inexplicable. Georgie's surprise pregnancy storyline is one of the most dramatic arcs in Young Sheldon Season 6. Initially, it seemed like this plot would bring significant growth for Georgie, forcing him to step up as a young father. Yet, much like other storylines this season, it quickly loses steam. The show skirts around the challenges of teenage parenthood, opting instead for comedic moments that feel out of place given the gravity of the situation. This lack of depth makes Georgie's journey feel superficial, leaving fans wondering why the show introduced such a heavy storyline in the first place. As the titular character, Sheldon's academic journey should be the backbone of Young Sheldon. However, his experiences at East Texas Tech have been disappointingly underwhelming in Season 6. While there are moments of brilliance, such as his interactions with Dr. Sturgis, the show fails to delve deeply into the challenges and triumphs of Sheldon's college life. Instead, the series leans on filler episodes and comedic subplots that add little to Sheldon's overall growth. This lack of focus makes his eventual evolution into the socially awkward genius of The Big Bang Theory harder to connect with. One of the biggest criticisms of Young Sheldon Season 6 is its inconsistent tone. The show seems torn between being a lighthearted sitcom and a serious family drama. While earlier seasons managed to strike a balance, Season 6 swings too far in either direction, often within the same episode. Dramatic moments, like George Sr. and Mary's marital struggles, are undercut by forced humor, while comedic subplots sometimes clash with the heavier themes of the show. This tonal whiplash prevents viewers from fully investing in the storylines, making it difficult to care about the characters' journeys. Perhaps the most frustrating aspect of Young Sheldon Season 6 is its reluctance to follow through on its storylines. Major events like Georgie's impending fatherhood or Mary's crisis of faith are introduced with fanfare, only to be resolved off-screen or ignored altogether. This lack of consequences cheapens the show's emotional impact, leaving fans feeling cheated. Despite its shortcomings, Young Sheldon remains a beloved series with a dedicated fan base. However, if Season 6 is any indication, the show risks alienating its audience by continually undoing its own storylines. To regain its footing, Young Sheldon needs to commit to its narratives, explore its characters with depth, and avoid the temptation to hit the reset button whenever things get too. As the series progresses, fans can only hope that Young Sheldon will stop sabotaging itself and deliver the meaningful storytelling that made it a hit in the first place. Until then, Season 6 will be remembered as the season that kept destroying its own potential. Young Sheldon Season 6 is destroying the storylines that it has previously set up. A lot has happened to the Coopers in Young Sheldon Season 5. Long before Georgie and Mandy's pregnancy news came out, Sheldon and his family were already going through several changes, including the potential affair for George and Mary with Brenda Sparks and youth pastor Rob, respectively. However, before several of those arcs even begin, Young Sheldon Season 6 is seemingly already pulling the plug on most of them. After years of slowing down its storytelling pace, CBS is ramping things up in Young Sheldon Season 6. This means that the family sitcom is moving forward with the established The Big Bang Theory timeline, so certain plot lines are expected to take place sometime soon. That includes Sheldon's graduation from college and the much-delayed death of George. Before his demise, the Cooper patriarch will also be involved in a cheating scandal. Young Sheldon Season 5 laid the groundwork for these, as well as other storylines that could shape the next few years for the Cooper family. However, CBS has chosen to shift focus in Season 6, sabotaging previous subplots. Related, Young Sheldon effectively skipped Sheldon's second darkest George storyline. A big plot line in the Young Sheldon Season 5 finale revolved around George and Mary losing both of their jobs. The Cooper matriarch was fired by Pastor Jeff from the church after Georgie's pregnancy situation came out. Meanwhile, George preemptively resigned from his coaching stint at Medford High School, leaving him working as a part-time employee over at Dale's. The couple's situation could have been a setup for the impending breakdown of their marriage, until Young Sheldon undid both plot lines in Season 6. After some pep talk from Missy, the boy genius felt more equipped to enter puberty. This was also when Young Sheldon Season 5 finale's TBT tease of Sheldon's first flash shirt debuted. Seeing him occasionally still have some doubts about his future would have been a great way to further explore his psyche and potentially explain more of his quirks on The Big Bang Theory. Instead, however, CBS chooses to quickly move on from this Young Sheldon Season 5 plot line. Sheldon hasn't brought it back up again. The Big Bang Theory prequel has also barely followed up with the debut of Sheldon's first flash shirt. This is a shame, considering that it was Sheldon's final personal arc on Season 5, and was something that could have led to more interesting stories for him. The biggest reveal from Young Sheldon's 100th episode is George and Mandy's unexpected pregnancy news. After dating for a while, the pair learned that they are expecting their first child, forcing them to reconnect, albeit not rekindle their romance. Young Sheldon Season 6 rather quickly resolved this by reconciling them. What makes this worse is the fact that the resolution to their conflict was somehow expected. The soon-to-be parents' romantic dynamic has already been seen in Leonard and Penny's The Big Bang Theory story, with George slowly winning Mandy over by being nice and attentive. While Mandy and Georgie have yet to explicitly say that they are romantically involved now, it's clear that they are once again a couple. Just because Georgie and Mandy's breakup has already been predetermined, it doesn't mean that Young Sheldon cannot properly develop their story. In any case, they still have time with them before they inevitably split, as established on The Big Bang Theory. Related, Big Bang Theory finale explains why it never had a spin-off sequel. Dr. Sturgis transferred to Waxahachie, Texas for his dream job at the Super Collider. Unfortunately, he was fired and forced to relocate back to Medford. He could have reclaimed his old job at East Texas Tech, but refused to. Instead, he worked at the local grocery store because he wanted to do manual labor. He argued that there was no point in returning to academia, as he had totally lost his drive to pursue science after getting booted out of his dream job. Young Sheldon Season 5 of the family comedy made a big deal about this narrative, especially its impact on Sheldon. So it was surprising that young Sheldon just resolved Dr. Sturgis' dilemma by seeing him back at East Texas Tech. The Big Bang Theory spin-off hasn't revealed what prompted his decision to reclaim his old job or when it happened. If it never planned on developing the arc, the least the show could do was to properly resolve it. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.